This is You Know I Know, a podcast where you can come onto my house, drop your buffs, and learn something from this. Is this thing on? Yeah, it is. I think. Actually, I don't really know. One thing about me, hi guys, my name's Zach. I'm here today to talk about everything I know. But one thing about me is that I don't know for sure if this is recording, how I sound, or any of that. Uh, that's okay though, because I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try. My name is Zach. I love podcasts. I love TV. I love anything creative. I'm a creative person. I'm a singer songwriter. And it's really weird for me to be recording a podcast where I'm not having to sing. I don't really want to perform for you all, at this point. This is supposed to be fun for me. Um, I'm ready to just get into it. It's kind of been a long time coming, especially with podcasting. I've had a million different ideas. I feel like I always wanted to do a podcast that had to do with music or singing or something like that. And we may get there eventually. I'm not sure, but how do I look? For those of you watching this, I I'm sorry. Um, if this is even recording. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, I may get to the music part of a podcast at some point. It may not be right away, but this is called You Know I Know, and it's gonna be basically me, my friends, my family, people that I love and care about are gonna come on here, and we're gonna talk about something that they know, like, front to back. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've got it down. It's become a part of their culture, whatever that may be. In my opinion, I think that I wanna do this first season about TV. Um, listen, I'm a child of the television, raised on TV. I was watching TV for as long as I can remember, and I would fall asleep every night to, like, Full House, The Nanny, all the Nick at Night stuff, like Fresh Prince, whatever that may be. And 1 second. Yes, thank you. Oh, yeah, I know, right? So, round of applause for those shows that raised me. Um, and I've always been a huge fan of TV, I have to say. But the real thing for me, as I'll get into a little bit later, was reality TV. And that's kind of what I remember shifting my perspective on the culture from a very young age. But we'll get into that in just a little while. I've done a lot of podcasts as far as like being a guest on a podcast. Like I said, I'm a singer songwriter. I've been interviewed a few times. I don't even like countless times. Not to be like, that's like really cool or anything, because honestly, it's mostly just been about me being on a reality TV show, which again, I'm sure I'll dive into later. I have like a list of notes here. If for those watching again, if you see me keep looking down, if you see me keep looking down, then you'll notice I'm doing that because I have like a list of notes here. and that is on the list for sure. But yeah, I've done a lot of podcasts talking about my experience on reality TV, and it was a singing competition show. And I've always had a really good time with it. I've always thought it was really fun. And I'm an avid podcast listener. Um, never a podcast watcher, which is why it's like I'm seeing myself in the camera and I'm like, what do I do? Uh, but I'm a huge fan of listening to podcasts, and I didn't even know that you people watched podcasts until I started doing some research for this specific podcast. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I didn't even know people watched a let me try that again. I didn't even know people watched podcasts. Okay? I know. I know. So, y'all, it's hot as balls in here, not to be crass about it, but the AC in my house hasn't been working for about a week or longer. Is that even legal? I would love some advice on that. Um, I just I actually just got back from LA. I was out there doing some music. That was so beautiful. Holy shit. Wait. I was out there doing some music. Thank you. And and I thought that when I got back the AC would be working, and it wasn't. So, but I had to do this because I've been putting it off for a while. I kind of got everything set up before I went to LA, and then I was like, "Okay, well, I'll just record it when I get back. I'll just record it when I get back." And then when I got back, the AC was still not working, and I was like, "What am I supposed to do?" So I'm sitting here in front of a ring light, ugh, rolling my eyes, and I'm just gonna record it, and I'm gonna get through it. And I might be a little sweaty, but that's okay. Um, it's totally fine. When I was, I think 14, 15, I actually feel like I was kind of I know it's really crazy, but I was kind of ahead of the trend of podcasting. Yeah, I beat you guys to it. I had my own radio show, and I'm using air quotes. I'm sorry, is it really distracting that I keep kinda, like, looking back at myself in the camera? I don't know. I need to, like, turn it around, but I can't, like, look into this webcam because then I can't see what I look like, and I have to always make sure that I look really hot and sexy. Let's ask the audience, and it sounds like they agree. Um, anyway, when I was, like, 14 or 15, I had my own radio show where I would actually interview reality TV contestants, and that's how I knew that the TV problem was a problem. And my mom used to be like, "Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Paris Hilton in The Simple Life?" She's like, "Get off the couch. You have to do the dishes. You have to feed the dog. You have to rake leaves. You have to mow the lawn, whatever." And I was like, "That is not hot." You know what I mean? But it definitely shaped me. And as a hobby, when I wasn't trying to make music, because before I was making music, I was kind of just doing this radio show. That's kind of what I was trying to say. I had to take a little sip of my Diet Coke. Not sponsored, but they should sponsor me. I'm already talking about sponsors. Um, hey, Diet Coke, sponsor me. And that was their response. Yeah, I would interview a lot of different reality TV show contestants, but at the time, the ones that were responding to my MySpace messages the most were contestants from Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. Double Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. Isn't that what it was called? She was bi, famously. She's canceled, and I really wanna have some people come on and talk about that. We're gonna have somebody come on and talk about Shot at Love with Tila Tequila, like, 100%. And my biggest one was, say it with me, Paris Hilton's My New BFF. I had a lot of those girls and gays on here. Not on here, but on that show. And it was really funny. I can't believe I was doing that when I was, like, 14, 15. And I even had, like, a website, and I had, like, a phone number that their fans could call in and ask questions. I was like, "Whoa," like, I'm a teen entrepreneur. Excuse me. I'm a teen entrepreneur. That was the applause again. Uh, And then I think I started doing some interviews about music. I did some interviews about music and interviewed different musical artists, of course, as well. Different, like, kind of just people that I was a fan of, or people that I enjoyed, or people that I would find on MySpace or find on other podcasts. But at the time, I think they were called radio shows. It was through this, it was through like Blog Talk Radio. Um, and that was just kind of my hobby. I'm looking again at the camera in this mirror, and you can see my closet, and you can see the clothes in there. And I should have closed that, but it's too late. It's too late because, like, again, I don't even know people watched podcasts. So if you're watching this, keep an eye out in that mirror and make sure there's no ghosts and or demons that are, popping up throughout the video. Yeah, Blog Talk Radio, music, reality TV. I remember that was a really fun outlet for me, and it was kind of a cool way to just, like, connect with, really, it was just me being a fan, and it was just a way for me to have an excuse to ask these people what it was like to film these shows. I was just always such a huge fan, and I was not even allowed to watch that stuff. Let me be clear, like, I was not supposed to be watching these shows. But Flavor of Love, like, Tiffany New York Pollard raised me. By the way, did you guys catch the references in the theme song? I say, drop your buffs. That's from my favorite show, Survivor. And then I say something about Come On in My House, which is The Girls Next Door, which is a reality show, but on a different perspective than Survivor. Or the other one, which is Learn something from this. Learn something from this. When my mother yells at me like this, it's because she loves me. That's from America's Next Top Model. 3 of my favorite shows. I've watched them all several times. And I have to say that I think that me putting those in the theme song was a stroke of genius. Because if you know, you know. The girls that get it, get it. I'm taking another drink. But yeah, those were some of my favorite shows. When I was young, I remember being in, I think it was kindergarten or first grade. I hope they're working on the AC right now. I saw them pull in earlier, but I'm not sure if they fixed it. Anyway, when I was in kindergarten or first grade, I remember watching Survivor with my family. And Survivor is what made me a fan of TV. Like, reality shows and everything, like, it all stems from me watching Survivor in, like, first grade. And I vividly remember skipping recess in first grade because every day during our recess, which I think was like 11:30 or something like that, 10:30, 11:30, something like that, would be when Good Morning America would be airing their segment with the latest. I think it was Good Morning America. Oh my God, let me not say something that's not true, but I think Good Morning America used to air the Survivor contestant, the latest voted off castaway. It could have been maybe like the Today Show. Give me a break, honey. I was in first grade. Give me a break. But I remember I would skip recess because I really wanted to watch that. I'm so nervous about the way that this looks because I'm in like an oversized hoodie, and it's really a nice hoodie, but it's kind of just making me look really strange in this chair. By the way, I got this chair from Facebook Marketplace. I went and picked it up for like, I think it was $20. And, this is all just temporary. I'm just kind of trying it out. I'm gonna eventually set up, like, an actual podcasting studio recording space. Um, that's my plan if this goes well. Anyway, I'm smizing into the camera. My eye twitched. My eye literally twitched when I did that. So, me skipping recess in 1st grade to watch the Survivor Castaway on Good Morning America, that was, like, not normal, and that was definitely when I knew that I was in touch with pop culture and all the good things that come with TV. And then I even remember being a little older, and this is kind of crazy to think about, but the members of our church would get together, put in $20 or so, draw a random name from a hat of the upcoming season of Survivor contestants, and then you would be rooting for that person the whole game. Okay, I'm not drinking Diet Coke in this anymore because it's making me burp. Ooh. So, anyway, yeah, and then if your person won, you would win the entire pot of money. And I remember during Pearl Islands, my family had drawn Sandra, and then when Sandra won, we were like, because we won, I don't know how much money or anything. I didn't get to see it, the money, but yeah, church and gambling. It's iconic to me. But it just gave us more of an incentive to watch the show and more of an incentive to like root for Sandra, who just so happens to be one of the best players to play the game. She's played several times, but she's won twice. I can't wait to have a Survivor deep dive on here and talk all about it. I'm going to have to find the correct friend or family member to talk about it. And I may even have several different episodes on it, but that show was definitely a part of the culture for me. And I can actually even remember being like young and just wanting to play and being like, oh my gosh, I would be so amazing on this show. And I would have to sneak and watch it, even Survivor, which wasn't really like nasty or anything, but I think sometimes they would have gay people on there. And also they would say cuss words sometimes like hell or something. And I remember like going up to my grandparents' house during Survivor the Amazon and having to sneak and watch it. And that was the crazy season where Jenna and Heidi strip their bathing suits off for peanut butter. And I can remember being like, oh my God, this is on TV. And a moment that shaped me. I was just like, I love women, especially during that moment. Cause I was like, that's iconic to me. And Jenna was, and I think still is the youngest winner, at least the youngest female winner. Whew, man, iconic. I'm excited to get on here and talk about, the best moments from the series, winners at war, and everyone's thoughts on that. I'm so excited to talk about that. It was it was a show that I've actually tried out for a couple times. I sent in an audition tape recently, so uh not that I think that I could mentally handle it. I don't actually know if I could. Like I said, I've been on reality TV at this point, and it was really difficult for me, but I had to try. And I hate when people say "but" like that. Boy, boy, I had to try. Let me restructure that. I did send in an audition tape, and I don't know if I could mentally handle it, but I had to try. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so freaking much. Thank you so much. Um, I'm hoping you guys can hear the sound effects in the mic. If not, this is gonna sound really, really weird. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if I'm ever gonna be on Survivor. I've always kind of thought I would be. Uh, Ever since I was a little kid, it's been my, like, dream to just play. No, I don't really wanna be on TV anymore, I've done that, and, especially a TV show like Survivor where it's like, you just never know how you're gonna get edited, you never know, like, what you're gonna look like, and even when I did the reality shows that I've done, I never knew exactly how I would be edited for that, and that was, like, a really scary, kind of very vulnerable, situation because you go on there and you just wanna be yourself, and you just wanna be, like, the best, like, funniest version of yourself, whatever you wanna be, but you can't really edit yourself, and you can't really think too much about it. You just have to be who you are, and then they're gonna tear you down, or they're gonna edit you, and they're gonna, like, try to make you look good or bad or whatever. They have all the power, and that's scary. That's why I think Kris Jenner would never go on Real Housewives, because she has a lot of power when taping The Kardashians, which is another show that we're gonna have to talk about on this podcast, and I would love to see her on Housewives, but you think she's gonna give up that editing power? It's not gonna happen, but I'd be so excited if it did. It's interesting that Kathy Hilton went on as a friend of, on 1 season or maybe 2, I can't remember because I kinda fell off there after a minute, but did you guys like the way I said "but" that time? It wasn't like "boy," it was "but." Oh, so cool. So, anyway, I think I've lost my sound effects now. I don't know what happened to them. I found them, everyone. Thank you. What's this one? Oh, yeah, crickets. Guys, let me know if I should add, like, a fart sound, sorry to say that word, or something kind of fun like that. Love a Real Housewives moment, though, and I think that, it's gonna be really fun to talk about that, and we'll get there, okay? So Survivor has gone for 45 seasons. 45. Oh, I just heard somebody come in the house. Hope you guys didn't hear that. Survivor has gone on for 44 seasons, getting ready to start the 45th season, and it's been, a show that I've watched every season of, except for maybe a couple in the 30s. I think I didn't watch, like, 37 or 38, something like that, and also, I did fall off for a little while. Like, during college and during high school and stuff, I did fall off for a little while, but then I made my way back during, I think it was season 28, and then when I saw they were doing second chances, I came back because I'm a huge fan of the older seasons, and to see, like, the list of people that may or may not have been able to be cast on the show, I really wanted to be a part of that, so brought me back, and then I went and rewatched a bunch of the old seasons and was like, "Oh, man, why did I ever stop watching this?" I mean, it's just a lot, it's a lot of TV, and at the time, I wasn't really watching a lot of TV, um, but anyway, I found my way back, love it, and I'm pretty much back. However, I will say the last couple seasons, I've kind of fallen off again. But I watched the last season, the most recent season, and I thought it was really fun, and it actually just got nominated for an Emmy, so, if that tells you anything, it's the first time it's been nominated in, like, I don't even know how many years, 10 years, 6 years, something like that, and I'm just saying, it's a great show. On the other end of the spectrum, I guess, in a way, was na 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 na. If you know, you know. Na 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 na. You wanna be on top? Wrong sound. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, that America's Next Top Model. I remember the first. It's so hot in here. Gulp. Oh, that'd be a good sound effect. Listen, it's hot. I remember the first time I ever saw anything from America's Next Top Model. I was at a friend's house in, I think, 4th grade, and we were just flipping through the channels, and it was Cycle 4. I remember this so well, weirdly. I don't know why. It was Cycle 4, Seven Deadly Sins photo shoot. It was happening. Naima's Envy photo shoot was on the screen. And if you remember correctly, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably do. But she's in like this like green paint with this just like sash around her, nothing else. And she's like laying in this grave and they're taking a picture. And she's just like serving face. Thank you. I used the lingo. She was serving face. And I remember it being like, stop. Wait, what is this? This looks really interesting. And I think that my friend was like, not into that. That was like a moment of, oh, this is like a queer, like alarm, like ding, 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 ding. The alarm went off. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like just keep flipping through that until we find something dumb and for boys. It was like, what is this? That was like an alarm, and it awakened the queer side of me for some reason. It was just like one of those things that just like really shifted my perspective. I remember it, and then I was like, whatever that. But I remember like even being like, I wonder what this show is. That was before we could even look at like, I think that was just like on cable or something. And I remember being like, what is this? And then I don't remember how I got back into it, but I remember maybe when we got cable or when we got like Dish Network or something, somehow I stumbled back on it and was hooked. Was loving Janice Dickinson, was loving the photo shoots, was loving how creative it was. Like finding the girls to root for was so rewarding for me. And it reminded me of Survivor, which I loved already. But it was like just a different competition and a different perspective. And it was really just creative, and I loved seeing the photo shoots and different things like that because I was like, whoa. I remember my sister had an America's Next Top Model themed birthday party. I remember when I got like a digital camera, me and my friends would go out and find frogs and put them on our face and try to recreate Cycle 3, the tarantula photo shoot. And I'd be like, you have to smize, Well, smize didn't really happen until Cycle 13, but we knew what we were doing, and yeah, we just had to do what we had to do to be creative. I was always making my friends play Survivor. I have gone as a Survivor contestant for Halloween several times. I always thought that if I were to do a drag night, not that I could do that. There's no way that I could do it. I'm not brave enough and I'm not talented enough. But if I were to I have a lot of good ideas. I'll just say that. And one of my ideas, I really want to do a lip sync to when I yell at when my mother yells at me like this, it's because she loves me. And then I wanted to go into like the Hereditary monologue where she's like, I am your mother. And then I wanted to go into I am your mother. You listen to me. Stop all the mansplaining. No one's listening. And then I'm like slinging like a picture of like Tyra or something like that. You know what I mean? I just feel like that could be really, really cool. Or like a decapitated head, like Hereditary style. Obviously fake. Oh my God, am I going to get like demonetized? I don't even know how any of this works. Is this thing even recording? If I'm going to be honest, is this thing recording? If that's as loud as it is for me, for you guys, I'm really sorry. But yeah, Top Model was an iconic moment for me. I also, like, remember, like, seeing Tyra in Victoria's Secret and being like, "She's so hot," which was so funny to me now looking back on it. I'm like but I was just like, "God, she's gorgeous." I just remember being like, "She's really beautiful," and I remember watching, like, Life Size and seeing her on Fresh Prince and different stuff like that. And then, oh, man, I remember Cycle 2 when she did the "Shake your body, body, move your body, body, shake your body, body, move your body, body." She tried to come out with a song. Another gay alarm bell for me. Queer awakening, if you will. And I love that song. I wanna do a lip sync to that too if I ever were to do a drag moment. I'm lip syncing to "Shake Your Body." Thank you so much. Um, let's go into a little bit about my kind of experience with reality TV, being a contestant on reality TV shows, and how that went for me. Another show that I would grow up watching was, say it with me, American Idol. Can't wait to have an American Idol episode. That was such a huge show. I remember watching it with my family, calling in, trying to vote for my favorites, my sister screaming and crying when David Archuleta didn't win, uh, me screaming and crying when Catherine McPhee didn't win, my problematic fave. Uh, is she still canceled? I'm gonna have to Google that. I loved the show growing up, and I knew I was gonna be on that one. Now, Survivor, that was a dream. That was, like, something that I was like, "Okay, I would love to play." But American Idol, I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm gonna be on it, duh." Uh, and I auditioned. I remember going to my first audition when I was 16 years old. My aunt drove me down there to Nashville, which I live in Nashville now, but as a kid, I had never been to Nashville, and my aunt drove me and my best friend down to Nashville for the day just to audition for American Idol, and it was so fun and so terrifying and a crazy time, but I loved it. I looked so bad. Dang, I wish I had a picture. Maybe if I start a, um, I know Instagram, I will post a picture of me at my first American Idol audition. Let me tell you right now, here's a hint. Fedora. 16-year-old Zach in a fedora. I'll find it and I'll post it. Um, anyway, whoa, I just got, like, taken back and I, like, was triggered for a minute. I remember singing. What did I sing? What was my audition song? I feel like it was "Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?" "Tonight you're mine completely. You give your love so sweetly." Or something like that. It might have been that, or it might have been, like, Valerie, something like I don't remember, but it was something like that. They asked me to sing 2 or 3 songs, and then I got cut that day, so I did not get my golden ticket, and it was a cattle call audition, and I'll go more into all of that when we have our American Idol episode, but then I went back and auditioned again when I was 18, 19, something like that. I had won the American Idol experience at Walt Disney World in Florida, which was, I don't even think they have it anymore, but it was an attraction at Disney World where you could kinda thank you. Where you could kind of have the entire American Idol experience in one day or something like that. So you would go in the morning, audition for like this, I don't know, producer or someone, because it actually did have ties to the real show. And I'm saying this because you go, you audition for someone. That time I sang, oh God, what was it? I'm drawing a blank. Whatever song it was one that I think I sang, like, Valerie or something, and then he was like, "Oh, I wanna hear you sing this song." And they put on, like, this really, like, sad karaoke track and make you sing, and, I mean, I ate. "Honey, look at me, I ate." And he threw his shoe at me. Huge compliment. And then he was like, "Oh, yeah, would love to." So, then you come back, like, a couple times throughout the day and, like, audition and stuff, and then you perform in front of a live audience with, like, 5 other people, and then the live audience in this, like in this attraction, they have, like, these little things on their chair on the arms of the chair, where you could vote for your favorite, and I was number 1 or something like that, and I remember, we all sing, and then, like, they ask the audience to vote for their favorite, and I won. Thank you guys so much. I want to say thank you to the audience and thank you to everyone who voted for me. Um, and then they had confetti fall down on you. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. And it was fun. And then what you win is you get like a front of the line ticket at the closest American Idol cattle call audition near you. Still looking at myself in the mirror, hearing a lot of things in the background. It's distracting me. But you get to be in the front of the line at the closest cattle call audition near you. So I waited, and I remember I went. Thinking that Diet Coke would be a really refreshing cold beverage for me as I sit here and record a podcast. Rookie mistake. This is my first pod. Uh, anyway, so I waited for a few months, and then that was the summer that I graduated high school, I believe. And then I went to the audition, and I believe it was Louisville, maybe, or it might have been Atlanta, one of them. I grew up in Kentucky, so kind of a bad location for if you want to be a superstar, unless you're like Jennifer Lawrence. But she went to like a performing arts school. I grew up on a farm with no internet until I was like 16 or something like that. So yeah, uh, I was like shoveling cow shit up back. You know what I mean? So a little bit of a different life, but I still got mine. I went to the audition, used my little golden ticket that I won at the Idol experience at Disney World, got to the front of the line, was one of the first to audition that day, and made it. And I was shocked. It was it was literally like a dream come true in a weird way, because I always wanted to feel what that was supposed to feel like. I knew that I was supposed to be on this show, and I knew I was good enough. And even at the time, though, like looking back now, I was so young and my vocals were so underdeveloped and everything, but I still, whatever reason I made the show. I think they saw, I showed up to the audition in a t-shirt and flip-flops. I was a summer camp counselor. I had like literal drawings on my arms and friendship bracelets from like the day before, when the kids had like, you know, made me a friendship bracelet or like painted on me or whatever while we were like in arts and crafts. You know what I mean? And I just kinda showed up and I was just like, "Yeah, like, I literally just drove here from camp and whatever," and I think that they really liked my personality. I mean, who can blame them? Uh, so I made it, and I made it through several rounds, and I made it all the way to Hollywood Week, where they were filming, and then I got cut right before the freaking group rounds. I mean, I really wanna go into this more whenever I talk about the American Idol experience, but anyway, just know I was on American Idol, yes, and I auditioned twice. Didn't make it the first time, made it the second time, and actually, top secret, they just tried to recruit me again to come on this year, and then I told them how old I was, and they were like, "Never mind." But that's okay. I mean, I've been there, done that. I really do not wanna do any more singing competitions. American Idol, I mean, it was fun though. So anyway, we'll talk more about that when we get to the American Idol episode. Oh boy. Ryan Seacrest? Anyway, so a few years after that, uh, several years after that actually, I was 24, 25. Uh, someone reached out to me through Instagram about auditioning for The Voice, and one of my really good friends had done it the season before and made it really far, and got to work with Jennifer Hudson and, made a really lasting impression on the show. And at the time I was in college, I was studying American Sign Language, and I was doing a lot of music. I was doing a lot of singing. I was kind of performing a lot, all over the place, and wasn't really confident yet in myself as an artist, but I know that I was just singing a lot and doing music a lot. Um, and I just remember thinking, what would be you know, the harm in actually auditioning for this show? They asked me if I wanted to come do it. I was scared because I didn't wanna look stupid, of course. I didn't wanna get on there and, like, embarrass myself, whatever. I ended up going. We'll definitely have a episode about The Voice as well, I but take that back. But great word. But was that like voiceover artist vibes? Anyway, I don't wanna do it again because I feel like those 2 are really good takes. Um, anyway, I went to the audition and I made it, and I continued to make it. It's, several rounds and everything, and I made it, and I got to be on the season, and I got to work with John Legend, and he was my coach, and I got to be a part of that experience. It was an interesting experience. We'll get more into it in the episode. I mean, if you wanna hear me talk about it, I'm sure I'm on a million podcasts, other people's podcasts talking about it, but anyway, I can't wait to just talk about it, you know, for myself, and just I wanted to say everything, but I'm always scared that I'm gonna get in trouble or something. But anyway, yeah, it was a good experience for me too. It was my coming out experience as well, which I don't think I've ever talked about in any of the podcasts that I've done or any of the interviews that I've done about it. It was that was my, that was my coming out experience, being on The Voice, and we'll talk more about that in the episode. So anyway, those were the 2 reality shows that I filmed with the most and that I actually made it on. Uh, and I never really auditioned for anything else. You know, I did send in a Survivor tape recently just because, you know, I just wanted to kind of see if I would make it. I don't even know if I would do it, if I'm going to be honest, because I'm so focused on my music and my goals and my artistry. But it's just fun to create a tape and really try to, you know, come up with fun ways to pitch yourself. I've always thought that you know, because every show I've tried out for, I made it onto, and I was always told that my personality was, you know, played a huge factor in that. So I was like, I'm gonna, you know, they're gonna cast me, honey. So we'll see. I don't know, and I don't know if I would ever do it, but I feel like it's getting up there. Season 45, you know, season 46. It's not going to be around forever, so I really just had to give it a try just to see if I could actually get cast. Because, oh, sorry, for those of you that are listening, you probably didn't just understand that I knocked over the camera. Okay, that's better. Uh, sorry about that. If that was jarring for anyone. This is not a relaxing podcast. This is chaotic. But it's just like my way of expressing myself, you know? I hate looking at myself. And I'm not saying that to be like body shaming myself or being like, look at you. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, maybe I'll be on Survivor someday. We'll have to see about that. All of this to say that, like, I've had my experiences with reality TV. I want to talk about it. I want to, you know, being a huge fan of reality TV my whole life and then actually being on it. You know, I've seen it from many different angles, and that's why I feel like a really kind of close connection to TV and reality TV. And I've always been, you know, creative and into acting and theater and storytelling and editing and all the things that come with it. So that's why I thought, you know what, this would be a good idea. It'd be really fun for me to kind of like find something that's not necessarily music every day of my life, which I have my ups and downs with and I struggle with, and it's never easy. This is just going to be strictly fun. You know what I mean? Strictly fun for me and an overall just good time. There's other types of reality TV that I loved that weren't like that. And what I mean by that is like high budget, you know, primetime TV or whatever. Like, and when I say that, I mean Flavor of Love, Girls Next Door, uh, Kardashians, all the VH1 reality shows and the MTV ones, uh, which I feel like really the real. Whoa, this is going to be hard for me to say. The real world, uh, the real world was the one that really set it all off and kind of was probably one of the first reality TV shows, followed quickly by Survivor. But anyway, the MTV reality shows, those were all really fun. I didn't feel like as life-changing as it was for me watching like Survivor. Uh, but and I also watched a lot of Big Brother. We're gonna have a Big Brother show too. I mean, we've got it covered. If I haven't obsessed over it, then I've definitely seen enough of it to have a conversation about it. Most of them, I'm gonna be able to go deep, but that's why I'm so excited to have my friends on that maybe, you know, maybe Flavor of Love is their Survivor, or maybe I don't know. But I also don't want it to be strictly reality TV, because I feel like that's just for me. Reality TV is what like shifted the perspective for me. But I'm gonna have people come on here and talk about whatever their favorite show was, whether it be, like I said earlier in the episode, like Full House, Flavor or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, The Nanny, whatever. Or if it's a cartoon, I think we're gonna have an Avatar: The Last Airbender episode. I wanna have, like, a SpongeBob episode. I wanna have a Simpsons episode, Family Guy, like, all of that have all affected people in different ways and have really opened everyone, have opened people's minds in different ways. So I'm super stoked about the idea of having y'all on here to talk about your favorite show with me. And we're gonna go deep. I'm gonna do research. I'm gonna watch a few episodes or some whatever of whatever show we're gonna talk about. And I'm so excited about it. I feel really good about it too. Hopefully it can be light, easy. I want to talk about it in a serious way, but I don't want to like edit it heavily or anything like that. This is just me sitting in my bedroom with no AC. It is hot. And just having a chat, just having a chit chat, a kiki, if you will. Oh, kiki. We should probably have a RuPaul's Drag Race episode as well. I'm not as versed on it, but I know that RuPaul's Drag Race was inspired by America's Next Top Model. You know what I mean? So we can talk. We can talk. I have a lot of people in mind, a lot of different guests and people that I want to bring on to talk about their shows. I've got it lined up. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to have like in this season or how I'm going to do it. I'm not even sure if this has been recording the entire time or what it's going to look like or what it's going to sound like. So just go with me on the journey and let's just vibe it out, Let's talk. What you know, I know, what I know, you know. And we're gonna just have a conversation. And I'm gonna let you have your fangirl moment. You can come on here and fangirl, and I'm gonna support it. And I'm gonna be right there with you. Let's play through some of these sounds. So curious. I'm trying to think of I'm trying to find, I want to find something that I can play out for this first episode at least, because I kind of forgot about playing out for an outro. What's this one? Whoa, I hate that. What's this one? Oh, that's fun. Okay, so all of that being said, I'm super excited to do this and to dive deep into these shows and really just have a great time with you all. If you made it all the way through this, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope you can see how excited I am about it and how I'm ready to just do this. I hope you can see how much I love TV, how much I love podcasting and connecting with my friends and the people that I love. And it's going to be great. So until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.